Hello again, punters, and welcome back to another episode of The Snapshot. Tom Rockcliffe joins me like he does every single week. Tommy, we've already spoken plenty about the footy on the potty this week, but I want to turn our attention to the Coleman medal race. Jesse Hogan's just kicked $7, $3.50 favourite. Then you're getting into Ben King, $3.80. Charlie Curnow, $10. But the big firmer, and you're not going to like this because it's a bit of hawk talk, but Jack Gunston into $26. Do you think he's a chance in this market at all, or is it just a bit of an overreaction?
Well, he's a chance. He didn't play the first couple of games and he's only a couple behind, like four behind. So I think he's definitely a chance. Can he win it? It'd be amazing if he did. You thought he was sort of on the scrap heap a little bit when he went back to Hawthorn from Brisbane, but he finds a way. That system suits him clearly. So he's going to kick multiple goals, and the good thing for him is he probably gets a second, third string defender. So he's absolutely a chance. But Hogan's going to be hard to stop, isn't he, if the Giants continue on their merry way?
Does seem like that. Would you have Gunston as an All-Australian? There's been a bit of chat about that.
Well, yes.
On form, you have to?
Yeah, on form. Can he sustain it for the whole year? He probably gets rested. So if he ends up only playing 16 games, probably hard to squeeze him in. But at the current standpoint, round 9, he's certainly he'd have to be in the squad.
Let's stick with the Hawks. $7 to win the premiership. We really only saw them play sort of one good quarter of footy against Melbourne last week, and that's kind of been the case for them, even against West Coast and Richmond in previous weeks. You haven't been a believer of the Hawks since the start of the year, and I'll let you know about it, I know. But are you worried about the way that they're playing, or is it more just like they're gearing towards something towards the back end of the season?
Well, yeah, you hope they're gearing towards it the back end of the year. I mean, no one's put their hand up as outright favourites, in my opinion. Collingwood have been probably the most consistent. But again, I'm not sold on them. Brisbane, I think, are the team to beat, but they're up and down. So the Hawks are going to be thereabouts. I think they may have been worked out a little bit what to take away from them. I think Port Adelaide gave the blueprint to that, and I think teams have started to execute it and try and take things away from Hawthorn. Hard to get a gauge. I mean, Melbourne, they're just going at best, and West Coast. So as they start to play the better opposition, big challenge for them Thursday night. Gold Coast Suns in Darwin. We spoke about them as well. They've won their last 7 in Darwin. If they can get that done, it goes a long way. But I think we'll find out a fair bit about Hawthorn over the next 3 weeks. Brisbane the week after, and then Collingwood. So we're going to find out in the Bulldogs. Big month of footy for the Hawks. Can they get it done? And then obviously the Crows down in Tassie as well. So it's a big 4 or 5 weeks. They take on some of the better teams in the competition. We'll find out where they are after this period.
If they're sitting top 4 after all of that, you'd be feeling pretty good about them. Let's look ahead to Saturday afternoon. I think game of the round, Collingwood taking on the Adelaide Crows. Just given the recent history between these two sides, their last 4 games have all been decided by less than a goal dating back to 2022. We always talk about Adelaide away from home, and they haven't played particularly well in the White Shorts this year. They're 1-2 on the road. They do meet Collingwood though at the right time. The Pies have some key outs. We're still waiting on news around Pendlebury, De Goey, Myercheck, the likes of them. Who wins this game and why?
I think Collingwood, just the home deck advantage. Obviously, they played over in Perth, a bit of a longer break. The Crows off a showdown. It's always hard to get yourself back up after a showdown. I think recent form suggests that you have a bit of a lull week the week after. So I'd be leaning towards Collingwood on their home deck. The Crows have been impressive. I don't think they were that good against Port Adelaide. I thought Port actually outplayed them, didn't get the win, but I'd be leaning towards Collingwood.
Okay, a bit of value there. We're going to do something different this week. I'm going to get you to tip every single game. Just give me a one-word answer. Gold Coast Suns, Hawthorn.
Suns.
Swans, Blues. Pies, Crows, you've already said. Port, Geelong.
Cats.
Giants, Dockers.
Giants.
Dogs, Dons.
Dogs.
Tigers, North Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
Stumped him.
You have. North.
Brizzy, Melbourne.
Brisbane.
And West Coast, St Kilda.
With no confidence, St Kilda.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's the Saints are pretty short over there in Perth, but I guess rightfully so, $1.35. Speaking of betting, let's get into the multi. Last week, you went 1 for 4 with Dill. This week, what do you got for me?
Yeah, not ideal last week. I'm going to go a bit of line betting this week. So I think the Giants were back to their best. Freo flying over. Freo have been disappointing all season. Giants win by at least 3 goals. So take Giants at the line, -17.5. And I think the Dogs, they're super with Bontempelli back to his best and their balance of their team. I don't think the Bombers are going that well. They were probably lucky to win that, minus 23.5, so the Dogs at the line.
Like that a lot. I'm going to throw in the Cats for a little bit of value. $1.65 you can still take for them against Port Adelaide, who haven't won a fourth quarter all year. I think the Cats could get them late in that one. And then I'm going to take the Lions to cover against Melbourne. This is a big line. I'm curious to see what you think about this. Minus 31.5. Is that in the ballpark?
Touch and go. It's just Brisbane, as you've touched on numerous times, they're playing in patches. So if they play 4 quarters against Melbourne, they'll blow them away. But yeah, I think they should win well.
Fingers crossed. So we got the Giants to cover, the Cats to win, Dogs to cover, Lions to cover, $11.31. Where can we find that, Rocky?
That's on the Ned's app in the punters section or AFL or something. I'm not sure.
The special section. Very good. We got there in the end. Cheers, Rocky.
Good on you, Ryan.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website